I think a very interesting point to make about the Rally for the Republic taking place here in Minneapolis is the fact that this was just a place where we saw for the first time the libertarian-minded individuals coming together in such a quantity and with such purpose. Typically these people are a bit individualistic. They're the kind of people that are a bit more withdrawn, and so to have them come together with this sort of fervor and motivation to learn and to participate, I think really says a lot. I'm sure this is the first time anything like this has happened, and so getting these tools, these these methods and this education in the hands of these types of people, I think is going to say a lot and hopefully have an impact on politics down the road. That we may be able to sort of drift from the two monoliths of the Democratic and the Republican Party that we have today. Just to give you an idea of where I stand politically, which I guess that cat is a little bit out of the bag, isn't it? And then I think an interesting contrast is that there's an excitement and energy around the Rally for the Republic, whereas around the Republican National Convention, they're obviously, as you saw on the tape there, the police in the riot gear. And when I went down there and saw it for myself, I felt like I was watching something on television where, oh, that only happens on TV. We only see that sort of stuff on TV. But I think it makes a point about how St. Paul resembled, footage from, some other country where there are riots and riot police needing to go out, and and we didn't even see any of the violence on there. I just think the visual of the guards standing arm in arm was poignant enough for me to really recognize that this isn't what politics is supposed to be about. But there's so much hostility toward these two parties that I think it's important that we continue to ask ourselves, is there a better way? Should we bring up a third party? The two parties don't want that, of course, and so and maybe a lot of Americans don't either, but there's certainly a lot of Americans that do. And when you have the two parties that have to be so guarded, I think it just says that there's room for more discussion, and that those two parties have isolated themselves with all the power. We've got a lot of people who are outspoken against them, and it's a shame that they can't work to form their own institution rather than try to tear down the existing ones. But the existing ones are all that they've got. They're all that we've got. And, I guess that's what the Campaign for Liberty is trying to change. I'm curious to know how the individuals who participated in both the conventions react to the fact that they need such security around the parameter of their convention. I think it's obvious that you need to protect yourself so much. Really says a lot about maybe the direction your influence is going. And maybe there is something wrong with the way the country is being led. People are supposed to support their governments, not hate them. And in America, we have a lot of people who have a lot of angst and hostility toward those in power. And since this is Minneapolis Expression, may I express that, I feel a little concern about the way the government is going. It seems to only be growing, and that is not good for the nation. We see it as a solution for our problems, and we see it as the only solution for so many of our problems. Healthcare, natural disasters, toys imported from China with lead-based paint. There are market solutions for these issues. There are local solutions for all these issues. Education, gay marriage, the war on drugs, drinking, gambling, the list goes on and on, prostitution, and issues that never were meant to be taken care of on a federal level are now being asked to the government to be taken care of by the citizens, and that trend really disturbs me. A larger government making those types of decisions on our behalf means more power to them, and the kind of people it attracts are the kind of people that like power, not the kind of people that want to serve you and I. And the kind of people that government was initially supposed to attract were the type of people who had families and who had careers back at home and were willing to go to Washington or to your state capital to represent their local citizens, their peers, to make decisions on security issues and matters as such. But the fact that it's such a huge industry or monopoly over so many things of our lives that there are people being attracted to these conventions that have nothing to do with anything but the power and the money and the influence that they're trying to get government to have over our lives and ultimately benefiting themselves. And now we've got basically when the Democratic National Convention and when the Republican National Convention are going on, we basically have two like combat zones that are going on because of the controversial nature of each party and the amount of money and power and decisions that they influence over the nation. That being said, the Rally for the Republic was a refreshing experience that I hope you got to experience somewhat through this, through your televisions at home, and I hope that at least you maybe got to pick up some knowledge about, or at least got you thinking a little bit about the state of politics today. A lot of people just sort of rest on their laurels because it takes work to, and it takes effort to consider these things, to challenge yourself, challenge the way you think, the way you believe. When we need people who do that. It's better for the country when we think more for ourselves. It's tempting to outsource this sort of responsibility to others who we just assume do it for us. And whether that's educating our children, disciplining lawbreakers, or making decisions for us as to how we should vote. We let the media and the television give us commercials that think that provide us with enough information when there's a lot more out there than meets the eye, and it's so much more available today than ever. And I think that the excuses of the lazy are getting less and less. So I hope to promote individual responsibility, the ability and the self-respect back to each individual, that they may make an informed vote, make an informed decision, be involved, participate. People feel better when they're involved citizens, and I just hope to see more of that in general. So anyway, I hope you got a lot out of this. Please email me, mplsexpression@yahoo.com, and let me know what you think. Discussion is always invited, and advice, unsolicited advice, any suggestions, anything would be great. I hope to be more connected than ever before with the community, with the state, and maybe even interstate throughout the nation. Ultimately, would be just a thrill and a pleasure and an honor. So do write. Do visit my blog, mplsexpression.typepad.com. I'll have them on the bottom of the screen. I hope to hear back, and I'm looking forward to the next show when I get to highlight some of the area's best events and people right here on Minneapolis Expression. My name is Brandon Fertig. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.